So today we'll be covering 6 topics. So first, we will cover the foundations of data analytics. We'll discuss about introduction to data analysis. So what is data? So all those things we'll discuss it here. And then we will discuss how to start your data analysis career. And further, we'll discuss the skills needed as a data analyst, and also the tools and the soft skills needed to be a data analyst. And also we'll discuss data collection, data collection and data cleaning. So this explains the data collection method and data cleaning method. How do you approach data cleaning? Then further, we discuss about data management. How do you manage your data? And also the strategy in data analysis. So we'll discuss about that. And lastly, um, we'll discuss about introduction to visualization. So how do we tell a story? How do we tell a story using data? So we'll discuss it here today. So just keep calm. Just keep calm. And by the way, it's going to be more interactive. So any questions you have, any answers you have, just put it in the comment tab. Right. So what is data? Like I said, it's going to be an interactive session. So what is data? Could you actually put your answers in the comment tab? So I'm ready to see all your answers. Just give me an example of data. Just give me an example. Put your answer in the comment tab. What is data? I'm waiting for everyone. Right. Emmy says information. Right. Perfect. Kelvin, collection of information. That is fabulous. Francis Osunde. Perfect. Perfect. Piece of information. Amadou. That's great. That's fantastic. Heritage unprocessed fact. That is fantastic. Folashade statistics. Perfect. Honestly, wow, wow, wow. That's amazing. Omalara Lamidi, unit of information. That's great. Shay, it's a raw information. Oh God, that's fantastic. Alaudam Yano, fact and numbers used. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. So let's go. So what is data? You have actually answered everything. You have actually answered what I need to actually speak about today. Just a moment. So data is, you've mentioned everything, information such as fact and numbers. So fact could be like is an information, and numbers used to analyze something or make decisions. Like example of data, you've mentioned a couple of it. So we have contact details, you have food, you have food details, you have health, you have anything you talk about is data. So types of data, we have different kinds of data. So we have two categories of data. You have uh, we have we have the qualitative data, which is more categorical, it's more descriptive. So for example, you have gender is descriptive, we have the male, female, we have religion, we have billions of categorical data or descriptive data. You've mentioned some of it in the comment section. So we have gender, we have religion, we have the marital status, we have qualifications, we have native language, we have thousands, we have millions of qualitative data, or you can call it qualitative data, you can call it categorical data, you can call it descriptive data. Anything regarding text information is classified as categorical or descriptive data. Then also we have the quantitative data. So this is more numerical. This is more number-like. So for example, age, height, weight, income, university size, anything regards number is more numerical, and it's also called fact as well, fact data. And you've mentioned a couple of it as well in the comment section. Comment section. So what is data analysis? So one of the best way to let you understand data analysis is to use food as an example. So I know many of us like food. I actually like food. I like food, and actually this is my favorite. I love spaghetti bolognese. So I use this as an example. So let's start with the scenario. If we want to, like I said, this is more interactive. So I want answers in the comment section as well. So if you want to prepare spaghetti bolognese, what are the steps you need to take? Like some of us, I'm sure some of us have actually prepared this before. So what are the things you need to do to prepare this? I need answers in the comment section as well. So guys, let's do it. Let's do it. So what are the things we need to do to prepare this food? I'm waiting for your answers. Right, correct. Yeah, yeah, correct. Read me notes at 10. Get all your ingredients. That's correct. That's correct. So you're gathering information. So when you're getting all Abiodun Christiana, parboil your spaghetti, correct? Foluka Ajayi, boil your spaghetti, correct? Cooking spoon, yeah. You get your spaghetti on all other perfect, perfect. And you're like, get all your ingredients. Yeah, we are all mentioning requirements. What are the next step? What are, after getting all the things you need to get? So what are the next things you need to do? All the ingredients needed to cook the spaghetti. So what's the next step? Then you prep, correct. Then you prep and start cooking. Yeah, yeah. Ebele, sorry if I can't pronounce your name. Method or steps. No, mention the steps you need to. So we've gathered all the requirement. We need to get spaghetti. We need to get pepper. We need to get all these things together. So what's it? Yeah, boil and correct, correct. Fantastic. You all are right. So let's move on. Let's move on. So the first thing to do, you mentioned that is we need ingredients to prepare the meal. So we need spaghetti, we need onions, we need what else? We need water, we need bell pepper. We need all these things to prepare spaghetti. So what is the next step? The next step is to um before adding every ingredient to the pot, we need onions. We need to chop the onions. We can't just put the old onions in in the pot. So we need to chop the onions, slice the bell pepper. So we need to do all those things. So these things is so the first step is requirements. You're getting all the requirements. In data analysis, it's called data requirements. So you are gathering all the requirements together to prepare spaghetti. So the next step is cleaning the onions, prepping the onions to put inside the pot. So you are chopping the onions, you are slicing it. So these are cleaning. You are cleaning the onions. You are cleaning the onions because you can't just put the old onions there. So the next step is once the ingredients are combined in the make once all the ingredients are combined, place the mixture on the cooker and wait for a minute. So once you've put all the ingredients and everything, you wait until the food is done, the spaghetti is done, right? Then when the spaghetti is ready, we're going to eat it. All of us are going to eat it. So that is how data analytics works. So we can now eat the bolognese, right? So what is data analysis in this sense? Data analysis is process of examining. So that is what we just mentioned earlier, gathering data requirements, gathering your requirements, right? And the next is cleaning. So based on the scenario we just mentioned, is cleaning, chopping the onions and everything. So that's how data analysis works. You can't just have a data and not clean your data, right? So you can't just have your data and not clean all your data. So you have to clean. When you have your data, you have to clean your data because you have things that are not necessary in the data. So you have to clean your data. And the next step is transformation. So we just mentioned in the previous slide, transformation is when you have all your ingredients processed and cleaned, then you can now you can now transform the data by using different tools, which I'm going to mention in our next slide. So transforming with different tools, then interpreting the data. So interpreting data is when spaghetti is ready. So when the spaghetti is ready, so that means it's spaghetti bolognese. Initially, it's not spaghetti bolognese, but when everything is transformed, it's not spaghetti bolognese. So that is how data analytics works. Then the next step is to present the data. So I just showed you here in the graph here. I mean an image here. So first identify your data you want, which is you have mentioned earlier. Then collect the data. Then clean the data. The identified data you want is what do you want to cook? I want to cook spaghetti. So you have identified what you want. So first, the second step is collect the data, which is mentioned in the group. Collect the data, then clean the data with chopping the onions, chopping the bell pepper, and analyze the data. Then you start cooking the spaghetti, then interpret. So that is the spaghetti bolognese. I'm just using food to represent data. So that is how data analysis works. So data analysis is not mathematics. So don't be afraid that, oh, data analysis is math. It's not math. If you don't like math, it's not math, to be honest. We just need your zeal, your zeal and your analytical mind. All of us, we know how to read, we know money a lot. So we know how to count money and everything. So without even going to school. So that's how the data analysis is not mathematics. So data analytics, why is it important? Like, why is it important to us? So one of the major benefits to data analytics analysis is the ability to use insights to increase operational efficiencies. So what that means is collecting large amount of like customer data, like consumer data, and consumer data and feedbacks, business feedback, because consumer data, it could be school data, it could be any data and feedback. So businesses can actually deduce meaningful patterns to optimize their products and services, right? So data analysis can also help organizations or schools to identify opportunities, right? And also it can reduce costs and maximize profit. Then the second importance of data analytics it predicts consumer trends and behaviors. Yeah, right. So this is actually important to our business as well, because with this, it can when business have access to, like, for example, the digital footprints of their customers, they can learn invaluable knowledge about their preferences and their needs. So, for example, if I browse something on Instagram, for example, I browse, like, I want to get a wristwatch, a smart wristwatch, for example, from maybe from a particular company. For example, if I need to get a smartwatch from X business center and everything. So if I click Android smartwatch, it brings anything related to Android smartwatch. So it shows in the person's admin page that these are the kind of customers, customers that browse my product are mostly Android, like Android products. So this will allow the owner of the business to know the behavior of the customers. I'm sure that makes sense. And I'm going to give you a typical example. Um, by the way, I'm also a freelance developer. I developed a data warehouse and also create visuals for a company in Germany. And before, the reason why they contacted me was they were having issues with they were not making a lot of profit, and this company saw my profile on Upwork, and they called me, and I did the work for them. I developed a data warehouse and create visuals using the data. And yesterday they called me and they said I actually did a fantastic job, that now they're actually making more profit. They know their customer more, and which is quite good as well. So I just wanted to know that you are on the right track, right? This is what the world needs at this point. They need data analysis. So don't say, am I in the right path or wrong path? You are in the right path. You are on the right path. So get get ready for this. And also, I just want you to see your zeal, in this, because this is what the world needs, right? And the last and the last is um it increases business productivity, right? So this means it enhances decision-making capabilities. So in other words, to understand data analytics, it gives companies power to make faster decisions. I just mentioned an example, a real case study of what I did for a company. And if they didn't implement this, it would have actually affected them profit-wise, right? So it helps in decision making, in faster decision making. Right? Are you here with me? Do you need coffee or do you want to take a break? So how do you start data analytics? How do you start your data analytics career? First, you must have technical skills and soft skills. What I mean is you must have core skills to be a data analyst. So the core skills are the technical skills and soft skills. But in Austria, we have a lot of technical skills, and we have a lot of technical skills and soft skills. But at Austrotech, we focus on key skills, which is Power BI. I'm going to show you how Power BI looks. Yeah, towards the end of the presentation, I'm going to show you how it looks and how do you like get data, and I'm going to show you the front end and also probably the back end towards the end of this presentation. So You must have technical skills like Power BI, Excel, SQL Server. Those are the key skills you need to have. Obviously, there are a lot of technical skills, but I always advise my students that you must focus on key, three key skills. Don't be jack of all trades. Be an expert in three core skills. So when I mean three core skills, you have to understand the BI tool, which I'm going to show you later in our in the further slide. You need to have the BI skills. You need to have the database skills. Then you need to have, in terms of the soft skills, you need to have presentation skills. Right. So in the BI skills, you need to learn Power BI. Obviously, there are so many BI tools. There's Power BI, there is Spotfire, there's Burst, there's SAP Business Object. But mainly what the company, most organizations need at this point is Power BI. That's why Ostrotech offers this, because company needs this kind of tools. Yeah. And you need Power BI, you need SQL Server, you need Excel. So Excel, the reason why I say Excel is traditional. So you need to have basic foundation first before learning other things. Then in terms of the soft skills, you need data analytical mindset. You need to be able to think. You need to be able to present. You need to be able to communicate well. Yeah, communicate well in English. So all the skills is needed to become a data analyst. So also you have practical experience. So what that means is you need to practice. You need to learn, you need to learn the skills. You need to also think outside the box. Of course, Ultratech offers hands-on projects when you register, when you enroll, when you do all the courses. So towards the end of the course, Tech, we practically do hands-on. So we'll give you a real life case study. Of course, I'm going to be the lead trainer for this course. So there'll be a lot of hands-on projects that you do, and this project is a real case project. So it's not going to be formulated. It's case project that most companies like do. So we're going to give you that to do. So aside from that, you need to practice on your own. So one thing I've learned throughout my experience is you don't learn everything from teaching. You learn everything by doing it yourself. So you need to like practice yourself, download the things you need to do, and play with the tools. Play with the tools. I do play with the tools a lot, to be honest. I play with tools a lot. If I have any issues, I go online. Everything is now online now. Yeah, or like years ago that you have to buy a book, but now everything is online. So there is AI and everything if you're having issues. So we need to have that practical experience. And the next one is continuous learning. As I mentioned earlier, you have to continuously learn, learn, and be an expert in what to do. Learn that craft, learn it. So learn it to the extent that they'll call you like a Mughal in that area. So the next one, which is very important, is networking. Yeah. So that's one of the key things we do at Ostratech. There's a mentor area. There's a mentor session in at Ostratech that after you do all the course, you'll be able to actually you'll be mentored in that area. So obviously I'm the lead trainer. If you need anything regarding this after the course, after you register for the course, I'll be able to mentor you on how you go about this. Like, for example, if you're having issues with the particular tool, for example, Power BI, I'll be able to tell you the things you need to do. So aside from that, you need to have a LinkedIn page where you can link with like people, like-minded people like me or like you. So there's so many professionals on LinkedIn. Like, so that's what I do. If you go to my LinkedIn, I have people I actually study on this, or I have so many groups that's related to what I do. So you must learn to network. So this, I've seen this image, art skills you must have. I've mentioned this collaboration, storytelling. Yeah, storytelling. You must be curious. You must think outside the box. I mentioned that you must be creative. You must have you must have a creative mind. So I've mentioned all this earlier. So career opportunities in data analysis. I think we have four career opportunities. We have data analysts, which we're actually focusing on today. So what the data analysts do is to analyze data, to extract insights or create reports, support decision making. So for example, a data analyst at an e-commerce company may analyze customer purchase data to optimize product. So that's what data analysis does. So I've actually explained it in the second slide. Um, then data scientists, they do more advanced stuff. So what they do is they do more cleaning of data. They do more forecasting. They do more forecasting. So this one is a bit advanced. And data engineer, that's what I do actually. So what they do is they build data warehouse. So where they build data warehouse, I'm going to explain data warehouse in the next slides. They build data warehouse. They also clean data. They clean data. They they create tables as well. Tables, they build databases and also create visuals as well as a data engineer. So also the business intelligence analyst is more related to business. So data analyst and business intelligence analyst is quite the same. So when you want to apply for a job, for example, and you see data analyst role or you see business intelligence analyst, they're pretty the same thing. Pretty the same thing. So um, before I move on, I will okay, just a moment. So before I move on, I would like to call one of our mentee to discuss about the success stories, what he has experienced, what she has experienced here at Tech. And I would like to call on Toby. Ade, I don't know if Toby.
Toby's here. If you're going to, you mean, okay, let me just sort of search her out and see if I can get her to unmute herself. I'll do that quickly. Right. Toby, can you unmute yourself? Okay, great. We've got her.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for being on this short training today. My name is Toby, like you heard, and I will just tell you a little bit about my journey into data analysis. Sometime last year, for a few years, I was an entrepreneur. I was into business. And when the time was right, I've always wanted to do this. I decided I would just go for trainings like this. And I searched online, which I think most of you did. And I found a company. It's a really large reputed. I used to think, when it is very big, large, and stuff like that, they must be doing something, great and all that. So I joined, and of course, it was like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We did all the training, it was okay. And then it was time to start looking for a job. And for 3 good months, I could not even land an interview. So I knew something was amiss. What am I doing wrong? Fortunately for me, I know someone that knows Ade, and I went to them, and they just smiled and told me it's a lot more than learning their strategies to doing this. So a little bit of retraining, yeah, they did. and that's Ostratech, where we are now. A little bit of retraining, and then that's where the guidance comes in. That's where the mentoring comes in. And they started mentoring me, and I signed up for CV writing. And they did my CV with me, practiced my CV with me, and they gave me different tips on how to look how to look for the job, what should be on your CV, and voila! Within 2 weeks, I got an interview invite. Something I was trying, and it's not like I didn't go back to these people when I was having problems. Not once did they, attend to me. They did not reply me. And the moment I paid the money, it was all gone, no relationship, nothing. So that's to tell you, like, you can do all the training in the world, but if you don't have the right establishment, the right people, to guide you on how these things work, you will just have all the know-hows, and then you don't know how to actually navigate your way to get the job. So I got many more interviews after, they came in, and not just getting the interview, they started, that's Kay. Kay will spend, time so much training me on the interview. I had quite a few interviews, and to God be the glory. Now I have a job. I'm starting in August. I'm still doing my background check, and I got a job, a business data analyst in a very, very good company. I'm just not going to mention the company, in a very, very good company. So I'm going to implore you that, yes, get the training that you're doing now, and together with the training, sign up for the mentoring, sign up for CV writing. These things, you think you know them, but maybe not. So put your mind to it, learn, and do as much as you can do on your own, but do not underestimate the power of having a mentor. And that's where Ostratech comes in. They are not just going to train you and leave you. They are going to help you. They are going to hold your hand. And I'm sure I've developed so much relationship that I know once I start the job, I'm just so confident because I know Kay is there. If I have any issues on the job, I can always just drop him a message or give him a quick call if he can take my call, something like that. So you really, 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 really need, that type of service. So that's my journey. I hope we all make our decisions and make the right one. And have a good day. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Debbie. I really appreciate that. So guys, you need to register today, and yeah, so it's going to be an interesting training, and honestly, data analytics that's what the world needs now, and actually, I'm going to tell you my story before I move on. And I was a developer before years ago, and I got tired of being a developer, and because I used to develop so many things, I was a C# developer, and I had no friends. I was just behind the screen, so I was fed up. And so I used to work at HP then, HP as a C# developer, and I got fed up. And one thing that the organization I used to work for, one thing they do is to have like a mentor program. So I had to tell my manager that I don't want to do this anymore. And I really want to be able to interact with people, interact with stakeholders. So stakeholders could mean clients, could mean your project manager, it could be anybody. So I will interact with people, and my manager really helped me. My manager then really helped me. Then I switched to data. I started as a junior data engineer, and since then I didn't turn back. So it's been an amazing career, and I'm telling you today that data is what the world needs now. So I implore every one of us any one of you to actually enroll for this course is a life-changing career, to be honest. And the good thing is when you know it, you know it. When you know it, you know it. So what are the tools needed as a data analyst? So as I've mentioned some of it earlier. So you need Excel. So Excel is the basic thing you need to know first because it's traditional. So you need Excel. You need to know SQL. You need to know SQL. SQL is more like SQL is when you interact with the data. So that's what the essence of SQL. SQL is when SQL is used to interact with data. So it's called structured query language. So it is used to query the database. So that's the use of SQL. So we have Tableau. Tableau is another BI tool. We have Power BI. We have Python libraries. We have data cleaning, which is we have Power Query. We have Azure Cloud. But we'll be focusing at Tech. We'll focus on Excel, SQL, and Power BI. And Power Query. Power Query, Power BI is actually together. So Power Query is used to clean your data. You know, okay, I'll explain further or the data cleaning method. So it's used to clean data. So that's the use of Power Query. So we're going to do at Tech, we're going to learn these three skills. Then regarding the soft skills, we'll teach you how to solve problems using data. So obviously you should have communication skills already and critical thinking, attention to detail, time management, all these things. Of course, we do that every day. So we need to have that before you join this course. Even if you don't have that, you will learn as we continue with the course. So data scientists, we don't need this, but I'll just tell you like the skills needed for data scientists. So you need machine learning skills, you need advanced statistics skills, you need big data tool like Hadoop Spark. This will be advanced. So I'm just telling you the skills needed as a data scientist. You need deep learning, you need data wrangling, cloud platforms. And another thing I want to tell you, all these data roles, they must actually, if you want to do all these roles, you must learn these key skills. You must learn how to use Excel, learn how to use SQL, and yes, these two key skills, Excel, SQL. If you want to be a data scientist or data analyst or BI analyst or data engineer, you must understand Excel, you must understand SQL. So and I want to tell you today, all this I'm mentioning is very easy. It's just like playing with your phone and playing around with your phone and learn what's on your phone. That's it. It's just a tool. It's not a magic. So I know you can learn this, and so those are the skills you need to learn. So as a data engineer, you need to learn all the skills like the big data, SQL, ETL process, which I'm going to explain further, data warehousing, knowledge data warehousing. I mentioned data warehousing earlier. I'm still going to mention it in a further slide. So the soft skills you must have: system thinking, problem solving skills, communication skills. But you must have communication skills, and I'm sure uh, everyone has have the communication skills. So we discussed about the average data analyst earnings. So as a entry level, the average salary. So this is majorly UK. This is not I. This is not Nigeria. I just put mainly on the in the UK. So in the UK, as an entry level, you earn as about 30 to 35,000 pounds grand. grand a year. So this is gross salary. So as a junior data analyst is between 40,000 and 45,000 grand. And as a mid data analyst, so you earn between 50K grand, between 50 and 55 grand pounds in pounds. Then as a senior salary, so this is average. So you can earn more, you can earn more. So as a senior data analyst, you earn close to 65,000 grand. Then as a lead or manager or consultant, you could earn 65 grand upwards. So now it's actually more. So another thing you need to learn is to be able learn how to negotiate and know your worth. So that's why I always tell people, be a learn your skill, not just learn it, be a master in what you do. Like, so I always tell my my student that don't learn too much, don't learn too much skills. Focus on key skills and be a master. That's it. Right. So we have different kinds of data collection. We have different methods. Uh, First, we have surveys. So this is mostly used in the academic institution. I'm sure many of us have graduated from schools, from uni, or from wherever institution we attended. So most of the academic institution is based on surveys. Then we have interviews. So this is when you chat with, you have calls with stakeholders or clients. So, and this is actually widely used in most organizations. It's basically interviews. They have like, for example, a Teams call, a Zoom call with a particular client or particular stakeholder. Then we have observations and automated sensors. So if like in Nigeria now, there's already a sensor in the highways, and also it's common in the UK. So they use like sensors as well to do like to count number of people and like in the UK and stuff like that. So data cleaning process, we have eight effective um data cleaning techniques. And so the first one is remove duplicates. So remove duplicates, this is a method where you remove data with the same meaning. So when you have, for example, when I have K in like in three different columns, there is no point having three. So you remove the two duplicate names. So duplicate, for example, if I have K, so we have three names, three same names. So there's no point having this three. You can remove one, you can remove two and leave one. So that's remove duplicate method. Of course, I'm going to show you this approach using Power BI or using SQL when you enroll for this course. I can show you now. So I'm just telling you the principle. So you remove duplicates data to have a clean data. Also remove irrelevant data. So this is useful when you have columns you don't need. Yeah. For example, I have a calendar table, and I just need month and year for my report. So I'd rather import two date columns, the two date columns, instead of importing the whole table. So that's remove irrelevant data. So you don't need to put the essence of this is to improve your report performance. So instead of putting all the date tables in the report, You can select the columns you want. I'm going to explain. It might look strange now, but when you enroll for this course, you understand it better. Standardized capitalization. So this is more, it refers to consistency. You must have you must be consistent with how you input your data. Because when you write name with capital Name in caps, and you write another column when you write another column with small letter, it might create another column, So you must be consistent with your data input, and also be consistent with your script whenever you write a script, or when you write a code um in your reporting, or your report and everything. You just have to be consistent. And you could see from here, this is a typical example from the text here. We have 8 effective. We're consistent with the caps first, then the small letter, and this. You must be consistent with your writing. You must be consistent with input, or your data, consistent with your data input. So the next step is convert data type. So we have different types of data type. We have the excuse me. You have the date type, you have the number type, you have the Boolean. The Boolean just yes, no. You have the date, I mentioned date. We have date numerical, we have the decimal, we have the Boolean. So you have so many. So for example, if you have a date value, you can't use number as the data type. You can't use numbers as a data type. So the best data type for a date value is date type. So you must be consistent with, because otherwise you get errors. So you understand it better when you start this course. So you must be consistent with your data types as well. Clear formatting. This is actually similar to what we've been discussing. So clear formatting is when you copy something, from, for example, you copy something from a website, and there's a link attached to that website, and you don't need it in your report. So it's very important to clear the formatting before you present to a stakeholder. So it's important you have quality report whilst presenting to your stakeholder. That's very important. That's the first thing you need to do. Check all the things. For example, check if there is a link. If you copy from a particular page, check if you have any links, any URL that you don't need. Then the next one is fix errors. So errors as avoidable as typos. For example, typos could lead you to missing out key findings. And that's one of the key things you need to do in data cleaning. Because, for example, if you write, one thing about Power BI is actually case sensitive. It's case sensitive. What I mean case sensitive, when you put space, when you write a name and put space, and when you want to search that thing and you don't put space, unless you write another script, and you don't put space, it's not going to search that value. So all these things you must check. And be consistent with it as well. And also the last one is language translation. So this is not really that important, because if you're using a laptop that is from UK English standard laptop, then this is not necessary. So language translation, but if you set your keyboard as for example, Spanish, US language, and this, so you must select one language. You must select UK keyboard or US language, whichever language you need to use in your keyboard typing. So you must select one and be consistent with it. So you can write American words and use UK words are not consistent. So you must be consistent with, especially when you're doing documentation as well. So when you're doing documentation for your stakeholder, you must, if you're going to write UK English, UK text, UK words, let it be UK words, let it be UK sentences. Don't write UK and write American and write this. So you must be consistent with your typing as well when writing your documentation. Right. So yeah, I choose this. So garbage data, when you have garbage data, you have garbage results. Yeah. So when you have good data, you have good results. You have excellent results. So data management strategy. So let's move fast here. So I'll use a scenario. I'll be fast about this. I'll use scenario about a kitchen cabinet. So in the kitchen cabinet, what do you have? We have in the kitchen cabinet we have food items there. We have different kind of foods in there. You store different kind of foods there. So that is data warehouse. That's the meaning of data warehouse. So what is data warehouse? Data warehouse is a centralized repository of data from various data sources. So I just used kitchen cabinet as an example. So in the kitchen cabinet, you have different things stored in there. So that is data warehouse. Data warehouse is where data is being stored. So it's been stored. So we have different types of data warehouse. We have on-premise. So on-premise is a physical service within an organization. So when you have a phone, you store your pictures on your phone, and you can also store your pictures in the cloud platform, which if you're using Apple or you're using Android, there's a Google, like Google Cloud and so many of them. So you can store, that is cloud. So we have on-premise, you store in the physical server, and you have the cloud. So this is stored and managed on a cloud platform like AWS, we have Azure, we have Google Cloud, and we have so many of them. We have so many of them. So tools for data management, we have BI tools. We have Power BI, I mentioned that earlier. Excel, Spotfire, Tableau. So we'll focus on Power BI, Excel as well. Then we have the database tools, which is a SQL Server. You're going to learn that one. So I have a lot of experience in SQL Server. So don't be worried. We're going to smash this. So we have Oracle database, we have MySQL, then we have so many of them as well. We have the transformation tool, which is Power Query. So you're going to learn that one as well. So Power Query is used to clean data, to manage your data, and also to structure your data as well. Then treating data as a product. So as I mentioned earlier, I mentioned the method of data cleaning. So this is important. It's important for us to have data quality. Yeah, it's not good to have a garbage data. So data quality is important. Then accessibility. You must be able to access your data within the organization, not outside, within the organization. And also usability. You must be able to use your data. So this is an example. I just use an example here. A company's data platform that serves various internal departments. So we have data integration. So we have two types of data integration. So it's called ETL. We have ETL, we have ELT. So ETL is extract, transform, and load. You extract data, you transform data, and you load data. Right. So what is extract? So imagine you have data in different places. So for example, you have your data on your desktop, you have your data on your Outlook, you have data everywhere. So how do you extract this? So you extract it from different, of course, we use a tool to extract that. So that's the meaning of extractor, extracting from different data sources or collect data from different sources. Then the next step is transform. So transform is you clean, you format this data, you clean the data, then you load the data. So when you load the data, you are loading data to a destination, which is a data warehouse, right? It could be data warehouse, you're trying to make a presentation, right? You're trying to use the data to make a presentation. Then another step is ELT. The difference between these two is you extract, the first one is you extract, you transform and load. The second one is you extract, you load, and you transform. Yeah. But the best practice is ETL, extract, transform, and load. So the ELT is you just pick all your data from the source, then you load it immediately to the data warehouse and start transforming it from the data warehouse. That is not effective. I don't like that approach, but it's one of the methods for data integration. But the best practice is the ETL, extract, transform, and load. So how organization interact with data using data-driven insight for business decision. As I mentioned, you use data to make decisions. And I made example of like a client I helped in developing the data warehouse. The client is based in Germany, and I helped them to do their data transformation, and they're seeing the effects. They called me yesterday to thank me for the work I've done. So it helps in driven insight for business decisions. Then collaboration. So with data, you can actually you can share, if it's a good data, you can share the data across departments or within the organization, but not outside the organization. So we need to be careful of the data we share outside organization as well. So introduction to data visualization. So before we start this, I would like to show you how Power BI looks. So I'm just going to show you a couple of minutes. Can you see my screen? Adi, can you see my screen? Great. Well, what can you see? What can you see? Are you seeing any dashboard? Oh, great, fantastic. So this is how, so this is how Power BI looks. Yeah, I'm currently designing a dashboard for a client. So the client is based in the States. And so this is a dashboard I'm designing for like for the company based in the US. So it's a collect credit card marketing agreement data. So this is how Power BI looks, and you can actually get your data from here. So I was discussing about ETL, where you extract your data, so this is where you get your data from. So there are so many sources you can get your data from. And when you click on this, you get the data. Then before you load it, you can transform it using, say, transform data. So when you finish transforming your data, you can load the data. Then you can now like publish the data into the web service. I won't show you further because I'm kind of restricted with the data. I'm being careful of the data I share. So this is mainly for the organization, and I can't really share that with you. So I'm just going to show you this how Power BI looks, and this is how it's going to look. And I'm sure that it's going to be an interesting one when you enroll for this course. And so importance of data visualization. So it enhances understanding. We've been mentioning it from the beginning of this presentation. It enhances understanding. It simplifies complex data. So when you are visualizing a data, you are telling a story. So you must be able to tell a story. Tell a story about so what I do before I do any visual, I normally tell a story. I put it on paper. What's the meaning of this data? Can I tell a story regarding this data? So you must be able to tell a story with a data. So you must be able to have like a decision making. So it facilitates decision making and also engages stakeholders. Yeah, because you are doing this dashboard for stakeholders. So if they don't like it, then it's a garbage data and everything. So if it's not making the right decision, then it doesn't worth it. But when you have right data and you have right stories, of course, the stakeholders will find it interesting. Then in regards to data visualization, you use graphs, you use charts, we use maps to visualize data. So all these things you're going to learn when you enroll for this data analysis course. So I will, before I hand it over to Ade, please, if you have any questions regarding this, please can you put it on the comment tab. In the meantime, I'm going to pass it to Ade to continue with the presentation. Thank you, guys.
Awesome, Kay. Thank you so much. That was good. That was really good. I followed every moment.